Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of the course. Just a few things that I wanted to mention for this week. First, you'll see that I sent out the first discussion review video on discussion on Epicurus. What I do, as you know, is not participate in the weekly discussion boards. What I do is read them and pick out things that I think are interesting or that bring up points that I think need to be emphasized, questions, problems in the text, issues, conceptual issues, and just do a little PowerPoint where I respond to selected student remarks. And let me tell you, first of all, that if you see your work up there, it's because I think it's good. I think it's worth sharing or emphasizing further. It is not something I check on whether you watch any videos for this course. But I think that, just common sense that if you're interested in the subject and you want to do well on the assignments, that you'll use every resource that is provided in the course to gain a better grasp of what's going on, especially since these texts are difficult. I wouldn't say that Epicurus is a difficult read. Maybe the conceptually really grasping what he's getting at is difficult. But as things move on, and this week we'll see, readings get longer and more complex. So that I believe that any resource that you have at your disposal is one that you should take advantage of. I will be sending out those discussion reviews pretty much every week, and also videos, maybe additional videos as well. So you should pay attention to the announcements for the course. Whatever comes out, you should watch, and it's just part of the course. This week, you will see that the reading. One more thing I want to mention is you'll see that the study question review videos will be released here. As you scroll down the opening page, the modules page, whatever, you'll see that every week a new study question review video will be released, which is another thing that you should watch because it will help. So they will all be in this module here, study question review videos, and every week another one will open up. So yeah, there's additional videos to watch, and I think that you should do that if you want to do well in the course. You want to see what's going on in those videos. As we move through the course, we're moving through the first part of the course called Epicureanism and its puzzles. And I think that the puzzles begin to open up as soon as we read Epicurus, the idea that death is nothing, and that it's not something to be regarded as good or bad. It's nothing to us because it is the privation of all awareness. It's the end of all consciousness and sensation. So it is not an experience of life that we should either look forward to or to be afraid of, because it's not an experience of life at all. It's the end of all experience. This raises certain puzzles, and the first puzzle, you might say, or the main puzzle it raises, is that it belies our usual notion that death is bad. Remember, for Epicurus, death is neither good nor bad. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's not something we should concern ourselves with. It's not that it's good. Just because something's bad doesn't mean it's good. It's nothing to us. And it is that claim that because of the nature of death, being the end of all consciousness, the end of all experience, the end of us, we become nothing at death, that it is not a bad thing for the one who dies. That is the question that Thomas Nagel focuses on in his essay, Death. That essay should be called Why Death is Bad, or Why Epicurus was Wrong. You'll see that he doesn't directly, really, I don't even mentions Epicurus. He might mention Lucretius, a follower of Epicurus, the great Roman poet. But it is clear that he is taking aim directly at a central Epicurean tenet, and that is that death is not bad, cannot be thought of as being bad for the one who dies. That is Nagel's main thing that he wants to refute, to prove wrong. And the, that's what you should be focusing on. It is not an easy essay to read. I think that if you see the videos that I made for this reading, you'll see that there's quite a few of them. The playlist probably contains 3 or 4 videos. Taking a little while, my slow little computer can't handle all the pressure. Oh well. Will it come up? Will it not come up? I don't know. I guess not. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there's 4 videos, and I may actually send out some supplementary ones because I think that this is, there's like about I don't know, half an hour or so of videos to watch. I would really recommend watching the videos for this. I mean, it's some contemporary, 1970s contemporary modern essay on death, and it really isn't so much about death in general as about that particular subject of whether death is a bad thing for the one who dies. That's really the focus, right? I mean, I think we've established in the first week that there's nothing in Epicurus that would rule out the idea that someone else's death is a bad for me, you know, if I'm alive. What Epicurus rules out entirely is that I should ever think of my own death as a bad for me. That death cannot be thought of as a bad thing for the one who dies. That's so his argument is really accepting, starts with many Epicurean premises, as we'll see. That is he accepts the premise, the major premise, that there is no afterlife, so that death represents the entire complete annihilation, becoming nothing of the person, so that there's no experience beyond death. Death is the end of all experience. He accepts that premise, but argues that Epicurus was wrong to infer from that death cannot be thought of as a bad thing, at least sometimes, for the one who dies. And he tries to argue that even though the person doesn't exist in any form once death has occurred, and so doesn't suffer, doesn't have any bad experience, no negative consequences from death for any kind of consciousness, because there's no consciousness after death. But despite that, death, at least in some cases, not in all cases, is a bad thing for the one who dies. And that's a difficult argument to make. It's a subtle argument. So it's going to take some time. This is really why I'm focusing on this. Nagel's essay is going to take you more reading time than I think Epicurus did. That doesn't mean that it's better or more profound than Epicurus. It's just the way it is in terms of the kind of thing it is. So give yourself more time to read it. Give yourself more time to watch the videos and to do the study questions, because it's going to be more complex than it was last week with Epicurus. So that's about it. I hope that you kind of fall into the rhythm of the course. It's a weekly course. There aren't tremendous numbers. There aren't like it's not a burdensome workload. You have a reading, and then you have the study questions and discussion board that need to be done by the end of the week. But I hope that you are giving yourself enough time to read the text and to come to some sort of understanding of the text by the end of the week, because that's going to be key. Your first essay, which is going to be due after the end of this first unit, which comprises the first 3 readings, Epicurus, Nagel, and then Bruckner and Fisher's Why is Death Bad? They all go together, and especially this week and next week, it gets a little subtle. I mean, especially Bruckner and Fisher with the asymmetry problem, which I will be discussing at length in the videos, and maybe sending some more videos out, both for Nagel this week and for Bruckner and Fisher's Why is Death Bad for week 3. I may supplement them. So, yeah, I mean, you need to give yourself time to read and to assimilate and to think about these readings. It's not the kind of thing that you should be rushing at the end of the week, because you will have to do your first essay on this, and you'll have to understand what's going on to properly complete those essays. And eventually, you're going to have a final exam in the course that will require that you have a good grasp of all of the things that we've read. So, in any case, if you have any questions for the course, concerns for the course, if you simply like to talk about any of the readings, feel free to contact me by email, my LaSalle email, or call me at the cell phone number that is on the syllabus.